Welcome to our channel, where we explore the legends and untold stories of Japan's mysterious yokai, the supernatural beings, woven into the heart of Japanese folklore. Yokai are far more than creatures of fear. They were born from our ancestors' awe of nature, and from the subtle stirrings of the human heart, the crystallization of an ancient imagination, and a reflection of the Japanese soul itself. Within these stories lie the quiet thoughts and feelings of the people who shaped Japan's culture and traditions. By coming to know them, you too will come to know Japan more deeply than ever before. Now, let us begin today's journey into the world of yokai.
Yokai of Japan, Episode 6, Rokurokubi. In the dead of night, you awaken. By your pillow, your wife sits in silence, and her neck silently is stretching upward. Thin, pale, drifting through the air like a serpent. This is the Rokurokubi. There are two kinds of Rokurokubi spoken of in Japanese lore. One whose neck stretches to impossible lengths, and one whose head detaches entirely from the body, flying free through the night. By day, they live among us, as husband, as wife, as one's own child. But when night falls deep, their true nature is revealed. The age of the Muromachi, a samurai of the Kikuchi clan in Kyushu, Isugai Haitazaman Taketsura, served his lord with great valor. But when his lord's house fell, he shaved his head, took the robes of a Buddhist monk, and renamed himself Karyu. He set out to wander the provinces. One evening, Karyu lost his way deep in the mountains of Kai province. The day was failing, the cold pierced his skin, and then he saw a small hut with warm light spilling from its door. Inside lived a humble woodcutter, his wife, and their family. 5 souls in all, quiet folk of the mountains. The husband and wife welcomed Karyu warmly. They shared with him a simple meal and prepared a bed for the night. Honored monk, please rest with us tonight. Karyu was deeply grateful. He offered a quiet sutra in thanks and lay down to sleep. In the depth of night, Karyu opened his eyes. The light of the Anden lantern flickered in the darkness. He peered through the open shoji into the next room and held his breath. There, sitting upright on the bedding, were 5 bodies. 5 bodies of the family, with no heads. The headless bodies sat or lay in the proper postures of sleep, dressed in their plain kimono, but above each shoulder, where a head should be, there was only empty air. And on each neck stump a faint, pale ring of red, drawn around the throat like a thread. Karyu understood. This was the Hitubin, the flying head demon of the ancient Chinese chronicles. In Japan, they were called by another name, Rokurokubi. Silently, Karyu slipped out of the hut and into the forest behind. From the darkness of the trees, he heard a sound, a soft, whispering laughter. He drew closer, and in the moonlight, beneath the trees, he saw them. 5 heads drifting through the air, floating from branch to branch, snatching insects from the leaves, whispering and laughing among themselves. The dance of the dead performed in the quiet of the forest, and then the master's head spoke. That traveling monk, he is plump, well-fed. If we devoured him together, our bellies would surely be full. Karyu trembled, and then he remembered. In the ancient Chinese book, the Sushin-ji, it was written, if a Rokurokubi's body is moved to another place while the head is gone, the head can never return, and the spirit will perish. Karyu made his decision. The blood of the warrior, the blood he had carried as Taksura, awakened once more beneath the robes of the monk. Above him, in the moonlit sky, the heads were already turning. They had sensed him. Their long necks of pale spirit, light trailed behind them like ribbons in the wind. Karyu rushed back to the hut. He lifted the master's headless body easily upon his shoulder and threw it out the window into the darkness. In the forest, the 5 heads sensed it. They cried out in fury and burst through the trees toward the hut. Through the dark, the pale heads flew at Karyu, teeth bared, eyes wild, howling like beasts, but the warrior's blood was awake. Karyu tore a young sapling from the earth and wielded it as a weapon. He swept the heads aside with terrible force. 4 of the heads fled, screaming into the depths of the forest, but the master's head, refusing to retreat, flew at Karyu with its final strength and sank its teeth deep into the left sleeve of his robe. The head bit down with all the rage of the dying, and then it went still. The eastern sky had begun to pale. The power of such creatures lasts only in the darkness of night. Karyu traveled on, with the head of the Rokurokubi still clamped to his sleeve. Eventually he reached the town of Suwa, in Shinano province. The townspeople, seeing a monk walking with a severed head, were horrified. He was arrested, charged with murder, but the magistrate examined the head, and on its neck, he found the faint red ring, the unmistakable mark of one not human. Karyu's tale was deemed true. He was set free with honors. Karyu carried the head back to the mountains of Kai, to the place where the Rokurokubi had lived. There, he buried the head, and offered prayers for the spirit is repose. That burial mound. They say it remains, even now, hidden somewhere in the mountains of Kai, known to those who know it as the Rokurokubi. No Suka, the mound of the severed head. In 1904, the writer Lafcadio Hearn, who had given his heart to Japan, recorded this very tale in his English collection of Japanese ghost stories, Waiden. Even now, the Rokurokubi still dwell in the old houses of Japan's mountain provinces, in the shadowed corners of forgotten rooms. If, on some quiet night, you should awaken from your sleep, and by your pillow you should see, drifting upward through the dark, a long white neck, stretching slowly toward the ceiling. Then perhaps, you too have at last met one. Face to face.
How did you find today's story? On this channel, we explore the legends and untold stories of Japan's ancient yokai, one by one, just as we did today. We hope you were able to feel the thoughts of those who came before us, hidden within these tales, and the subtle workings of the heart that lie behind Japan's culture and traditions. If you enjoyed today's story, please support us by subscribing, giving this video a like, and using the hype feature. It truly means a lot to us. Until next time, see you on our next journey.